A few months ago, I visited the Mengi Yay shipyard in Turkey to show the construction of a 47-metre super yacht. The design was outstanding, and we actually produced a separate video in which we interviewed one of the designers, Carlo Nuvolari, at the Nuvolari Lenard studio. It had so many fascinating features, including the capacity to fit a boxing ring on the foredeck. Well, last week it appeared for the first time at Monaco Yacht Show, and it literally stole the show. The quality of the finishing, the gorgeous design, the amount of space on board, I hardly know where to start. But we will start at the stern. This is such an imposing looking yacht in the dock. It has such presence, a very large swim platforms fitted with custom-made transformer steps that can be used to descend into the sea or ascend for use to access the dock or as a diving board. I should add that the main access to the vessel is via a large passerelle. A central staircase takes you to one of the most unique and sensational aft decks I have ever seen. We could talk about the cozy seating area and bar on the starboard side, but that is not what steals the show and quite literally stole the Monaco show. Just look at this. An exquisitely restored 1961 Riva Ariston that can be launched and retrieved by using cleverly concealed overhead cranes, leaving a clean, flush deck for entertaining. Talk about a sense of occasion when you step on board a yacht. And that sense of occasion is continued when you enter the main salon. Large windows flood this area with light, illuminating a lounge area that is somehow as comfy as it is sophisticated, as elegant as it is practical, with storage space, a formal dining table, large television, everything you could wish for on your super yacht. Moving forward, to the starboard side we find a well-proportioned lobby and an elevator that passes through 3 decks. A dayhead is located to the right, and then we find one of the real standout features of the yacht. Where you would imagine the owner's stateroom may be located, there is in fact this magnificent gentleman's club. The opening terrace here invites guests to sit outside enjoying a glass of wine from the well-stocked temperature-controlled wine room and a slice of pata negra cut from the Burkle slicer. You know, during the Monaco Boat Show, I was supposed to film a quick sequence in the Gentleman's Club for a promotional Instagram reel, but it was almost impossible to get in here because visitors would get this far and then they didn't want to move on. There's something so comfy, so inviting about this part of the yacht. I've never seen it done before, but the idea was absolutely inspired. Of course, guests to the yacht are very well accommodated indeed. 4 staterooms below deck are well proportioned, elegantly appointed, and the aft 2 staterooms can actually combine into one single full-beam VIP suite for those very special guests on board who just need a little more pampering. So, if the forward area of the main deck is used for a gentleman's club and the guest accommodation is below deck, then where is the owner's stateroom? Well, just take a look at this. The bridge deck aft is dedicated to a magnificent private owner's deck. This area is designed so that guests and crew can reach the other decks without having to pass by this area. It is completely private. There is so much that I could say about this area: the generous closet space, the exquisitely appointed bathroom, the views. But this really is a moment I need to just let the images do the talking for me. We could move onwards and upwards at this point, but first I want to take a moment to talk about the foredeck, since it is another standout feature of the yacht. The first thing you notice is the size. It really is big, and there is a lot of space here, borne out by the fact that a boxing ring can be fitted here. That's right, a boxing ring. What an amazing way to keep fit on board your yacht. And what possibilities for events on board this creates. Below the high foredeck is a tender garage, big enough for the crew tender and jet ski storage. And now we will move onwards and upwards to the sun deck, the magnificent sun deck. Forward is a large hot tub and a sumptuous sunbathing area. Aft is a bar, a dining area, and an outside lounge and a fire pit, all protected by a hard top for protection from the sun and windows for protection from the wind. Once again, this is such a great area on board. I'll just let the pictures do the talking. Serious yacht buyers and apparently serious yacht video watchers always want to know more though. They want to know, what about the crew quarters? What about the engine room? What about the performance? Well, let's start with the bridge, a no-nonsense, intelligently laid out area that any captain would be delighted to work in. It should be noted that the captain of Serenissima I was very involved with the construction throughout the build process, a real added value to this vessel. On the main deck, to the port side, is a spacious and well thought out galley. This can be accessed from the main salon, from the side deck, or from the crew quarters. And the crew quarters are in fact down a stairwell and below deck level. You can see from the general arrangement of the vessel that the crew quarters occupy a large proportion of this deck. No compromises have been made here in either space or in quality. A practical crew mess, a laundry room, and accommodation for 9 crew are distributed throughout this area. And that leaves us with the engine room. You can tell a lot about a yacht from the engine room, and this one is exemplary. Two Caterpillar 1,450 horsepower engines take pride of place. It should be noted that these are Tier 3 compliant, so accepted by the most modern and stringent emissions legislation. This is a steel-hulled, full displacement yacht with an aluminium superstructure that can reach 17 knots, or cruise comfortably at 12 knots. I'm reliably informed that her range is 4,000 nautical miles at 12 knots with a 10% fuel reserve. Apart from the great engineering, that's also a tribute to the sophisticated Vanusanen hull design. And linking the engine room to the transom, there's even a large workshop aft of the engine room that guests or crew can use for toy storage, dive equipment, and a workstation for washing down equipment. This has to be one of the most inspiring yachts that we've filmed to date, and a great example of what can be done when you have a good team working together. The designers, Nuvolari Lenard, are at the absolute top of their profession. The owner, an experienced yachtsman who had some great ideas to implement on board. His fleet captain who invested not just his time, but his energy, his emotion, and his passion to ensure that this would be a yacht that would be an absolute tribute to the shipyard who built her, Mengi Yay. She's now available for sale, and I can't recommend highly enough, if you're in the market for a yacht in this size range, that you should really take a look at her. To find out more details, do contact my friend and my colleague, Ed Dickinson, whose contact details are on screen now.